Saxon Algebra 1/2, Lesson 90, Algebraic Sentences. We talked about words in our last lesson. We talked about the trichotomy axiom and how that is just a big fat panic button that isn't scary at all. The word. And here we're also going to talk about words. Everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but many math students quiver in their shoes when they think about word problems because they find it very threatening to take words and turn them into numbers and symbols. And I agree, it is a challenge at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's nothing to be afraid of. And so John is kind of baby stepping us into word problems by helping us just get used to some of these algebraic phrases, and now we've been doing that, and now we're going to blend them into some simple equations. So there are some references in the book I'll point you to in a minute, but let's just use common sense here. The sum of twice a number and 42 is 128. Find the number. Okay, let me write this out so we can look at the words. You don't have to do this for your homework. You'll be able to do it in your head. The sum means adding, of twice a number. Okay, we've played with this a little bit, and you know that twice a number means 2 times the number, right? So that's how we write twice a number, and 42 is always means equals. So the sum of twice a number and 42 means we take twice a number and 42, right? The sum of twice a number and 42 is 128. We just converted these words into this sentence. The sum of twice a number and 42 is 128. That's the hard part. Solving it is pretty darn easy. All we have to do is subtract the 42. Equals 6. 12 minus 4 is 8. And now we divide both sides by 2. And we get n equals 43. Okay? And anytime you want to check these answers, you can. I'll tell you right now that that is the right answer. But we can just take this and plug it into the original equation. It's 2 times 43 plus 42 should equal 128. 2 times 43, we'll do that multiplication first because order of operations, right? My dear Aunt Sally, we do multiplication before we do addition. This is 86 plus 42. And if we add these two together, I get check, it's true. Yay, it worked. You're not required to check your work in these problems, but I wanted to show you that you always can. You can always plug the number back in and see if it actually works. And if you've done it correctly, it will. It'll always work. Okay. There are 3 problems in this lesson. That was the first one. Example 90.2. I'm going to write this one out again so we can look at the words together. I mean, if you want to do it in your homework, you can, but I'm not asking you to do that. 27 less than the product of 3 and a number I put lots of space between these so that we can kind of look at the words separately. We can kind of deconstruct the sentence. We don't just see them as part of a sentence, we see them separately. 27 less, okay, that's subtraction. Then the product in a number, we'll let that be n, is, that's equals 144. Okay, 27 less than the product of 3 and a number. Okay, the product of 3 and a number is 3n. 27 less means subtract 27. So 27 less than the product of 3 and a number is 144. Yay. Add 27, do the opposite, right? That cancels out to 0. 3n equals 171. Divide both sides by 3. 171 divided by 3 goes in here 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract, bring down. And that's going to work out perfectly. So n equals 57. And again, if we wanted to, we could plug that back in, check it, and get the answer. That is not required, but John shows it in the book that it will always work. Okay, last one, example 90.3. Well, I'm going to write it out again. Four more, okay, that means adding, 4 more than the product of a number and n, and I'm sorry, and 33. Product means multiplying, equals negative 95. All right, so 4 more than the product of a number 33. So 33n, that's a messy n. So this is a number, a product of a number and 33. 33n, 4 more, addition, equals minus 95. Four more than the product of a number and 33 equals minus 95. The reason that we use n is because it helps us remember that that stands for the word number. When we make our letters match to the problem, it just helps the two connect better in our brain. So we could use an x here, but John usually chooses a variable that matches to the word in the sentence, and I think that's a really great idea. Later, as we get in more involved word problems, the more we can make the letters match the words, the easier it will be for our brains to jump from one format to the other. So I recommend it. Okay, so this is now our algebra. Subtract 4 to swim that fish over there. 33n cancels, equals, oh look, minus 99. John is a buddy and a pal. So our number equals minus 3. Again, if we so desired, we could plug minus 3 in here and it would work. You don't have to do that. John does not ask you to do that. Just know that it will always work. Yay, that's the right answer. That's the end of lesson 90. I will see you on Thursday for 2 more lessons.